I was trying to adjust something on my phone and ended the whole live. Sorry. Okay, hey y'all. I made a mistake and disconnected the live. How is everyone doing this fine holiday? Hey. Yeah, I said today is typically a day where people, hey Shirley, I was just talking about you. There's, people typically have, people, there you go. People, this is hot. This is how I ended it last time. Hold on. Okay. Today is a day people typically have family gatherings, barbecuing, and doing different things. And I was talking about the whole dynamic of the foods, especially in the African American community. They just like get a whole pig and just put it on that grill. And it's just pork is not a good, well, meat itself is a lecture for another time. But for all of you believers out there, pork is a no-no. No debate. There's no debate I'm taking on that. We, as believers, should not be eating pork. And we can skirt around that issue all day, but I'm not about to have that full lecture today. So if that offended you, go before the Lord and deal with it. I don't care. So I came on here today to talk to you guys a little bit about how the human body, in this beautiful creation that God did for us, how it actually gives us signs that it's in trouble, right? Your ears are ringing. Oh my gosh. It wasn't even like that. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit about how our beautiful body works and what does it do when it begins to have problems. Okay? Now, the normal human body in its beauty, and I'm going to simplify this a lot because I'm not going into a full teaching because this is not my school, right? So in the human body, in its most simplest form, basically, the whole dynamic is we eat foods for minerals. We drink I shouldn't say liquid, water to replenish. And then our body goes through a process using, of course, a filtration system to push waste out through the water and a filtration system to push waste out through the colon. Okay. So you have liquid waste and then you have solid waste, right? In the simplest form. This is not medical teaching here. Okay. In that whole dynamic, the human body does a lot involving different organs, filtration systems, cleaning out the bloods, you name it, extracting foods, breaking down the foods to its molecular level, and different things of that nature. And so we typically have byproducts, waste products, and things of that nature. And so the body, in its natural, most simplest form, will get rid of everything that the body does not need in order to get better. Okay? So, in the whole dynamic, when we start having problems, let's just say, let's start from square one. The lungs, which is what the COVID is attacking, right? In its simplest form, the lungs are there for oxygenation. It pulls in oxygen along with some other stuff from the air. It filters out the stuff, takes the oxygen, converts it over to a usable form to go into the blood. Okay? Simplest form. It does that, and then what it does. Oh, okay. What it does with the waste, what does it do with all of the other stuff that's in the air that we don't need? Well, it forms it into waste byproducts, and it may come up in some phlegm. You might cough up some phlegm. We are constantly spewing different things out of our mouths and our nose and things of that nature. This is typically why in the morning not everybody, but most people in the morning, the first thing they do when they stand up, their mucus starts draining. I have that every day. And so when I wake up in the morning, when I'm drinking my water, then I'll start having mucus draining. I'll blow my nose, and a whole bunch of different weird stuff comes out that I probably was breathing in all night, and then I go about my day. Okay, so that's how our body typically works. But what happens in the instance where your lungs are starting to have problems? Think about this for a minute. Our body will start having issues. If we have lower oxygen than normal, we might have lower energy levels. It is always a problem if your energy starts to drop. And you should always, always, always be on that. If you start having energy level issues, you check what you're eating. You check to see if you're drinking enough water. And then you start going down a checklist to see what you might be having some issues in. Okay? Energy levels, you having poor energy levels is never acceptable. And it's one of the biggest signs that you have a problem in your body. So, in the instance of your lungs, your energy levels are dropping. Okay, energy levels are dropping. Let's talk about you are starting to cough a lot more than normal, but nothing's coming up. That's called an unproductive cough. Even when you take medication, because typically the doctor will put you on guaifenesin first, which is one of the first medications they'll put you on to try to get the phlegm to come up. Okay. So the doctors will try to put you on all this foolishness and this mayhem and and then when that's not working, the doctors, well, some doctors will tell you there's nothing else they can do for you, of course, or start trying to experiment with other medications, right? So in the instance where you you have the medications are not working, the cough is getting worse, nothing is coming up. This is how, and I want you to think about this for a minute, because this is in its simplest form how the COVID really ends up tearing up your body. Because then after a while, all of that stuff that your body's trying to cough up that won't come up, it starts blocking the exchange, right? Your oxygen is trying to exchange over to go into your blood. The carbon dioxide is trying to exchange out of your blood back into your lungs to come out. All of that stuff that the body's trying to cough up is not coming up, is blocking the exchange. Your body starts to suffocate. Okay, this is how you have organ breakdown too. Now, a lot of people don't understand this process, but lack of oxygenation is one of the main reasons why your organs start to fail. It has been extremely linked to kidney failure. Okay, there are several things that can block the kidneys from getting the oxygenation it needs, but the number one thing is cholesterol. And cholesterol comes from animal sources. Okay, that one was free, but I'm trying to just show you a little pattern here. So you might have an instance where your body is starting to suffocate and an organ is taking the hardest hit. Now, in this instance, I'm talking about the kidneys. The kidneys are taking the hardest hit this time around. Okay, in my example. So, and your doctor says, hey, your kidneys are not functioning at 100%. It's at 90 right now. But that's no reason to worry. Because this is what the doctor tells you. And this is why every time I meet someone or I'm treating someone or anything of that nature, I want to see blood work. Because if which is what they detect if you start having kidney issues, is called glomerular filtration rate. And that determines if your kidneys are filtering at the rate. And you have a number between 1 and 100. Okay, 100 means that your kidneys are completely functioning and filtering the way they're supposed to. And when that number starts to go on the decline at all, your doctor should alert you. But unfortunately, so many times when I get people, I see their glomerular filtration rates are at 70% or 60%. And I said, well, how long have you been in kidney failure? And they're like, why am I in kidney failure? I've never heard this before. And I am just flabbergasted, first of all, that there are so many people that, number one, just totally blindly trust their doctors and don't ever even look at their own blood work. But number two, I am just grossly appalled at the fact that the doctors do not even tell people that they're having kidney problems until it gets to a certain number. Now, this is a problem for me, but I get my blood work on a regular. So if I see that number drop anywhere, I don't care if it's 2 digits, I'm over here cleaning out my kidneys. Okay? But on your blood work, it should say GFR. And then they have an African American GFR, because a lot of times, for some reason, African Americans are always categorized differently on tests. I don't know. Do not ask me why. I'm not even going to speculate on this social media post. I do have theories, but I'm going to keep them to myself. So yes. So we're back to oxygenation. I'm back to oxygenation. Okay, so the problem started in your lungs. You're coughing. You're not passing mucus. Now you go to the doctor. He does blood work. Your kidneys are not filtering at 100%. So now, not only is your body completely suffering and suffocating, but your organs are starting to be affected. Now, all of your mineral levels are off because your kidneys regulate your minerals as well as filter your blood. They regulate minerals and different things of that nature. So now your minerals are off. Okay. Then the doctor starts putting you on potassium and all kind of weird stuff, Now you're taking medicine from the pharmacy. I'm just showing you here in this little snippet how one issue can ricochet into multiple ones. Whereas if you came to Stephanie and said, I'm having an issue in my lungs, I'm coughing, not producing anything. Okay, well, let me see here. Let Stephanie gonna put you on Mullen. I'm gonna put you on some Mullen a couple times a day. Might put you on some Longwort or some Lobelia. Just trying to get this stuff up. It's gonna come up. I'm going to pull the mucus from your lungs, because that's what it is at this point, is mucus that's trying to plaque. So I'm going to give you, because I have a whole arsenal of herbs for those lungs. So I'm going to pull this stuff out your lungs, and it always works. Somebody calls me a couple days after they get the stuff. I've been coughing up this nasty, mucusy, thick, yellow stuff. Yep, there you go. And then after that, they always turn around and say, well, I'm starting to feel so much better now that I'm coughing this stuff up. That's because their body is able to oxygenate more. And so I tell them, once they start going through that, you have to start cleansing your body once you are able to cough up the mucus. So let's start hitting the ginger shots. Okay. Hold on one second. I'm going to make sure my radio doesn't cut on. I had to cut on the AC. It's actually hot out here right now. I think my voice just went low, so hold on one second. My Bluetooth is going to kick back in one moment. Can you guys hear me? Okay, my Bluetooth is back on, so you guys should be able to hear me. Okay. I should be able to see your questions if you have any. Just in case. I don't know. Sometimes it pops up the question, sometimes it doesn't. So I'm not ignoring you if you put something in there and I don't answer it, okay? So I just gave you one simple scenario of how your body is telling you that there's a problem, right? Very simple scenario, okay? That a lot of people ignore, by the way. The only time people really go to when whatever is going on with them is inconveniencing their daily regimens. That's the most when people go to the doctor. Just like when a woman has a menstrual cycle where she is bleeding so heavily that she has to use multiple pads and tampons. She's cramping really bad, bloating, PMS. You know, most women won't even go to the doctor until that period starts to inconvenience them. The bleeding starts to inconvenience them. And I ask women all the time, why in the world did you ever think it was appropriate for you to be bleeding for 7 days? Nobody should have a 7-day period. That means your body is hemorrhaging. Something is wrong. Nobody should have more than maybe 3 or 4 days of cycle. All you're doing is dropping a microscopic egg. And that's just something that your body is trying to tell you is a problem. A lot of times when a woman has a menstrual cycle on that level, especially with cramping and dropping blood clots, you have a serious problem, not only in your hormones, but in your uterus. You have too much mucus buildup in your reproductive system, and you need a cleaning out, and you need a diet change like yesterday. Okay. Also, another thing with women that their bodies always try to give them a warning about is like when they start having ghost pains when they're not on their period. A lot of women have spotting and things of that nature, goes like pains in your side or pains in your uterus and things of that nature. You have ghost pain. Okay, this is crazy to me, that the stuff that we just shake off and be like, oh, okay, well, it's okay, it's not epidemic. No, those are warning signs that your reproductive system is okay. You should not be having, and I'm going to repeat this again, you as a woman should not be having cramping, number one. Yes, you should not be cramping. I don't have cramps on my period, and every woman that I clean out stops having cramps. Every woman I work with, when I clean them out and get their diet together, they usually go down to at least a 3-day period, 3 or 4 day period, if not 2. A lot of them go down to 2 days. All the cramping stops. The heavy bleeding stops. Okay, because I teach them what they need to be doing and how they're polluting their body. Anytime you are eating certain things, you're throwing off your hormones so bad. Estrogen, high estrogen levels up. Okay, this is where we get the terminology estrogen dominance from. Estrogen dominance really is a made up term to mean that you have too much estrogen floating in your blood. But I just want you guys to know this, that estrogen in itself, your liver actually is responsible for recycling estrogen. So your liver should be keeping all of that estrogen out of your blood. And anytime you have estrogen dominance, number one, your liver is not doing its job, but there's a backup for the liver that's supposed to help balance out estrogen. Guys, in your digest, you eating fiber, your body will push the estrogen through your intestinal wall and push it into the fiber that's going to come out of your body. This is why your diet as a woman especially is so important. And too many women play too many games with their diet and try to do all this emotional eating. Emotional eating in itself, and this is going to be for another lecture. I'm telling you, if you are an emotional binge eater, you really need to work on it. And I am one of those emotional binge eaters, so I'm really working on that. Staying away from food when I am feeling some type of way. In all seriousness, it is to me one of the worst things that you could do to soothe your emotions. And I'm saying this from experience. Okay. When you are in an emotional place, you eating excessive foods or sweets and fatty foods, all it does is make your hormonal problems worse. Okay. So this is another example. Now, I've given you an example of too much mucus breaking down the body. I'm giving you an example of your hormones being out of whack and breaking your body down. Now, as far as a woman is concerned, when you start having severe hormonal issues, high estrogen levels and things of that nature, not only will they cause heavy bleeding, but this is why fibroids begin to grow. This is why endometriosis happens. This is why PCOS, or polycystic ovarian syndrome, happens. Okay? Because when your hormones are off, it might trigger certain things in your body that should not be triggered. Okay? In the instance of a fibroid, you are telling your they're called myeloma cells, which is the inner cell of your uterus. So your uterus, basically, if you broke it down to 3 layers, it would be the middle layer. That cell starts to replicate itself when there's too much hormone. This is where fibroids come from, because it's causing itself to replicate, which means it's trying to. Guys, this is not a joke. The foods, the toxicity, the things that we are exposed to these days are bodies. And we already are being exposed to massive amount of chemicals. And so we really should be acting accordingly to bring down the chemical, all the chemical that's happening to us. Okay? We are bombarded with chemicals where we should be doing proactive things to help our recover from chemical exposure. Okay, we shouldn't be eating all of this fast food, this prepackaged food. And I'm not putting anyone in condemnation, because yes, sometimes people are still in transition. They're still a work in progress. Okay, that's fine and dandy. I'm not saying anything against that. What I am saying is that you should be far more proactive in what you are putting in here, okay, than most people are. Okay, it's not a game. People drop dead every day that people say there were no warning signs that they were even sick. Do you know how many people die of massive heart attacks who nobody even knew they had a symptom, because the person ignored all the symptoms their body was trying to tell them? Okay? I'm saying to you this, is that life is not a game. I don't care if you're 18 or 80. You have, actually, the younger you are, the more likely you are to drop dead. Those older people that then made it to 70 and 80 years old, they typically have a better consciousness of taking care of their health than these young people. Right? And the older people tend to cook more than going out to restaurants and stuff. And so what we're seeing that's trending up now is more and more younger people are dying from sickness and disease. And I'm talking about people that are in their early 20s. It used to be unheard of. It used to be unheard of for people in their 20s to be dying of cancer. And that definitely is a thing of the past. When I tell you that people now in their 20s are dropping dead, dying of cancer, disease, dying of colon cancers, all kinds of crazy stuff that only older people used to die of, dying of strokes. Okay, this is all from the foods and the chemicals that we're exposing ourselves to. And of course, we can't forget about the emotional and mental things, of course, that we are bombarded with on a daily basis as well, that all it does is exacerbates the problem. Okay, and so I just wanted to put that in there. So going back to what we were as far as estrogen dominance is concerned, this is why so many women have the fibroid issue. And this is why I have been so effective in helping women to reverse their female problems, is because what I do is I have to take them, whatever level they're on, and help them to start transitioning their eating first and foremost. And then after that, I have to help them to detoxify their body. This is not a short process. For a woman that wants to reverse her reproductive issues, which is heavy bleeding, fibroids, endometriosis, whatever the case may be, you are looking at a minimum of 12 months. if not 24 to 36 months. The body is not a microwave popcorn, people. Okay? And I get so irritated sometimes when people come to me and the first question is, how long is this going to take before I can see my healing? How long did it take this problem to become so important that you actually finally reacted to it is the question. Okay? Because however long that took is probably how long you're going to take to get rid of it. Okay? You didn't ignore, you ignored and didn't respond to properly all those years that your body was telling you it's a problem when you were having heavy bleeding. You will march on to that pharmacy. You'll march to that pharmacy every time, buying those overnight pads, buying the tampons, buying the Diva cups, buying all of this stuff. And never once did you think, hey, it's something wrong with this scenario. This is not normal. The doctors, you go into a doctor with and all they do is put you on birth control. Where they do that at? Do not let these people put you on birth control when you have an issue with bleeding or any other issue going on with your reproductive system. Change your diet and clean your body out. I'm telling you, thousands of clients, it works. So another thing that I find very interesting, and I try to teach people this, I have a high blood pressure group going right now, and I'm super excited to see just how much progress they're making. It's not a shock to me how much progress they made, because this is like my third different high blood pressure group, and they always reverse high blood pressure. And so I just like when when people first start seeing their high blood pressure reverse, they get all excited and call me, and it gets me excited because they're excited. But one of the things I teach people, if you have high blood pressure, you better beware, because your heart is in trouble. Okay? The doctors may not be telling you you're in the beginning stages of congestive heart failure, but by golly, your heart is giving out. If you do not do something to change your dynamic, you will be told sooner or later that you have congestive heart failure, because the heart is what causes blood to have either high pressure, low pressure, or even pressure. So if you have what they call high blood pressure or hypertension, that means that you have too much tension going on in your blood vessels. The heart is having to beat too fast. What the heart does is squeezes real hard to push the blood. And when it squeezes and pushes the blood, it expands the blood vessel, right? And that's what they consider to be blood pressure. The heart is putting pressure on the vessel to move the blood. So when you have high blood pressure, that means the heart is having to do too much force to move the blood. It could be a few reasons, and it's going to wear the heart out. Number one reason is your poor, sucky American diet. You're eating too much cholesterol, and it's thickening your blood too much, and the blood is not moving around enough. And so what ends up happening is one of the chambers in your heart begins to go. So the other ones work harder to compensate. Okay? It's 9 out of 10 times. It's always that. The other thing it could be is your kidneys could be having problems. And we talked a little while ago about why kidney failure takes place. Most of the time, it's because the kidneys are suffocating from lack of oxygen. Again, is linked back to a cholesterol issue. So, I think you better act on this and stop playing. Life is not a game. The number one cause of death in the United States has always been undefeated. An undefeated champion has always been from heart disease. Okay? That kills more people in this country than anything combined. Look up the death statistics for yourself and you'll see. Heart disease tops cancer, tops diabetes, tops strokes, tops corona, the flu, whatever. The number one killer in this nation is heart disease. That is because people constantly are eating all of this bull crap from these fast food places, from restaurants, all these meat products, this dairy, all of this stuff has pure cholesterol in it and is clogging up your arteries. And yes, you can get that stuff out. I'm not saying on here how. If you want to, you can inbox me and we'll talk about it. Okay? But I'm not gonna release that on this video. But that's one of the biggest ways that your body tries to warn you and tell you that there is a problem in your heart, is by raising or dropping your blood pressure. Okay? It can go either way. Okay, so I just wanted to give you guys some examples of your body telling you that there is a problem that you need to react to. We have an affinity as a people to procrastinate, not to take things seriously, to put off things that are a priority for things that are not a priority. Your job in paying that light bill doesn't matter if you're dead. Okay? I need you guys to understand this. Yes, you may have bills. Yes, you may need to work. But I'm trying to tell you guys, sometimes it is in your best interest to go ahead and take that day off, go into the doctor, get some hot blood work, contact Reflections Healing, and then have a discussion. Okay, once you get your consultation, have a discussion about what's going on in your blood and get this taken care of. There is no point in living a life sick. You cannot travel sick. Okay, you can't live your best life when you're sick. Being sick is a poor representation, even of your faith. And I'm not saying that you are sick because you have low faith. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is it's a poor representation of your faith. Okay? So I want you to understand that being sick, and I mean when I say being sick, I'm talking about somebody with high blood pressure that has to take medication. I'm talking about diabetics that have to take a pill or has to inject themselves. That is being sick too. Okay, sick is not just you got cancer. Okay? If you have to go to the pharmacy, matter of fact, if you go to the pharmacy and they know your name, you need a consultation. Okay? Because look, I know some people don't believe in natural medicine. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying everybody in the world should have to do natural medicine. But you need to understand that if you are on medication, okay, that is not curing or reversing your condition. Okay? It's not. But what it is doing is putting a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound and making you think that your situation is not as serious as it is. And it is very serious. That medication is simply going to turn into a placebo, which means the medication only has so many years, sometimes months, of working before it stops being effective, and you have to either add medications or increase the strength. Okay? It is not meant to be forever. No, when they first started making medications in the pharmaceutical industry, they were supposed to be bridges for you to change your lifestyle, eat healthier, exercise, and this was to help you while you were transitioning. And of course, over the years, the pharmaceutical industry has made so much money that it is more advantageous for them to just keep you on medicine. And I understand that from a business standpoint. And I don't even say they're evil or greedy. I say they just simply are seizing the opportunity that's there. How can they get billions of dollars from you if you weren't going and giving it to them? Because I know a lot of diabetics that are much more willing to go to that pharmacy and take that pill that's dropping their blood sugar every month than for them to just change their diet and not have to take a pill. You have no idea how many people I have met that would rather inject insulin than to stop eating that fried chicken. Come on, folks. That's not how we should be. And I myself have to get in the mirror and check myself. I tell you guys, I had to start my journey over in this, and I'm going to be video logging this, and that's why I told you guys to make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, because all of this stuff is going to be uploaded into my YouTube, because I am going to video record everything that I have went through in my whole journey with food, how I ended up gaining weight back after being alkaline, gaining weight back. Yes, you can gain weight being alkaline, first of all, because too much of anything turns bad. But I'm going to talk about, deviations that I've made from the nutritional guide, and how I had to finally get my mind in order and get myself together to prepare for this. And I'm just going to I just wanted to video this for you guys, because I really felt it was time for you guys to see real people having a real struggle out here, instead of always seeing these extra skinny people in this alkaline lifestyle that's claimed that they've been alkaline vegan since they were conceived, and they've never had a craving for meat or any of this other foolishness where they try to put people in condemnation for not transitioning quickly and things of that nature. I want people to see real people transitioning over in this lifestyle, real people that are morbidly obese. I don't want somebody that's 30 pounds overweight and bragging about the alkaline diet got me skinny. No, I want people that are 150, 200, 300 pounds overweight to show their progress. So I'm just different. I'm cut different. I have a different angle I'm coming from. And I am here to help people that really are not even being represented in this alkaline journey. Okay? And morbidly obese people are not represented. They're not. And that is what I'm here to do. I'm here to represent, because I am one person that I really did. I started back my journey a week and a half ago, and I weighed myself once a week. So I'm dropping about 4 pounds a week now, because I'm really serious. I actually eat in portions now. One of the first things I was told when I came in this lifestyle, oh, you don't have to worry about portion control and all that anymore. No, if you have a food addiction, you need to worry about portion control. Okay? You need to learn how to set limits for yourself. Okay? It's time we learn self-control. I don't care if it's alkaline or not. We don't need to eat 4 bowls of it. Okay? We don't need to make ciabatta bread and eat the whole loaf. We don't need a whole gallon of hummus and crackers. No. We need to learn and understand that we still have to eat within control, certain time frames. We shouldn't be eating alkaline food or any food after a certain time every day. We should be disciplined. We should not be eating 3 and 4 hours. We should stop eating, 3 or 4 hours before we go to bed. We don't want our body trying to digest food while we're trying to sleep. It'll interrupt our healing process. Okay? We need to understand that we need to be pushing more water, because the water will make us feel full longer, so we'll eat less. The whole ideology of eating 3 square meals a day is bull. It's bull. When I eat raw, I only eat up to twice. That's because I'm really full all day. I may eat like my fruit for breakfast, big fruit bowl for breakfast, and then I eat like a salad for dinner type deal, or something of that nature. And I typically don't eat more than twice. I mean, I've had a lot of times where I've only eaten once. Excuse me. I'm just telling you that we have to retrain our brains, especially if we're struggling with our weight, because we cannot continue to operate like we are skinny. We're not. And if we ever have any hopes of meeting our goal weights, we have to learn things that skinny people don't. We have to learn what self-control is. Portion control, size control, making sure we eat within certain confinements of time. Exercising is important. I've heard too many people telling people in this lifestyle that Dr. CB never exercised. You don't have to either. Now, I ain't trying to be funny, but do you really think that you are 150 to 200 pounds overweight and all you got to do is eat cucumbers every now and again, and then you're going to be skinny? I want you to be real with yourself for a minute here. You can't clean out your lymphatic system if you're not exercising. Let's stop making excuses to be lazy. Exercise physiology is a mandatory part of our lives. Did Dr. CB exercise? Dr. CB lived in a country where it was normal for people to walk. They lived on free land where they walked around all the time. He got exercise. Maybe he didn't go to Planet Fitness, but he wasn't up in America driving around in a car all day either. Let's look at things in its proper perspective. If you lived in any other country, you would be exercising naturally far more than what you're doing. This country, we are very lazy. But I've been places outside of this country where we walk everywhere. Where you biking, you either walking or riding a bike. You're getting a lot of exercise. So I don't want you guys thinking, oh, well, she's saying that Dr. CB did exercise. No, what I'm saying is that he was outside this country and he had far more opportunities of exercise physiology and on a natural daily basis than what we do here. Most of us wouldn't even walk across the street to the store. We would drive. And I know that is true because I've done it. I make myself now get up and walk. Okay? So if I want to go to the dollar store is a mile away from me. I get up in the morning and walk to it. That sun is very important. But I get up and walk to that dollar store now. Or I will go, I say I want to go to the park. The park is about half a mile away. I walk to the park. Me and my son will walk to the park. Okay? And then we walk around and do whatever we need to do there. And then walk back home. I started sitting this car down because I started realizing that I was operating in a spirit of laziness. These cars were invented for us to go great distances. A lot of you have poor energy levels because you have trained your body to lay around all the time. I had got to a point about a month and a half ago was sleep, and I couldn't understand why I had no energy. And my son's father was the one that came to me and was like, you need to get up and you need to start walking if you don't do nothing else. And I was very reluctant at first, but I started walking, and do you know my energy level shifted? After about maybe the second or third time I walked, my energy level shifted. Energy now. And the diet is the same. I had already switched the diet, and I just couldn't figure out why my energy levels weren't. But I started walking, and Shirley said a good point about the sun. We were not designed to stay indoors all day. So I started walking. Of course, I'm out here in the sun, and it shifted my energy levels. Guys, we got to do better than this. I have so many people that are terrified of dying from COVID. Why would you even be worried about COVID if you actually were eating right and exercising, your immune system would be on 10. And I'm not saying that you are not eligible to die from a disease if you eat right and exercise. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the likelihood of you even catching the COVID or influenza or anything at this point, if you're eating correctly and exercising, is so low, because you're doing the things that your immune system needs in order to actually do what it's supposed to do. So a lot of times when you are exercising and you're eating properly, your immune system will stop that thing in its tracks. Like, oh, buddy, you can't come here. And so I just implore you guys. I always forget to put my website up here. So it's reflectionshealing.com, because somebody always asks me and I always forget. Reflectionshealing.com is the website. I'm telling you guys, it is time. If you don't do anything else, start with a colon cleanse. I have a digestive balance package on my website. I custom make so much stuff on the website for you guys so that you can be successful in this lifestyle. And I make sure that it is affordable. I didn't say free. I said affordable. So you don't have to pay $560 a month, okay? Like you do when you go on some other sites. I make sure that it is in a price range that you can actually put in your budget. I just need you guys to understand this. So many of you still haven't started on the simple things such as colon cleansing. You're not going nowhere until you colon cleanse. I know for a fact, hands down, that I make the best colon cleanses on the market. Now, I have had so many people talk about my colon cleanses. My colon cleanses don't have you all to the point where you having bowel movements on yourself and all that other weird stuff. My colon cleanses are not for you having diarrhea. It's for you eliminating. I make these colon cleanse blends so that the feces that is packed on your intestinal wall is lifted off the wall, and then you have very large bowel movements. Some people may have diarrhea, so I'm not saying you might not have diarrhea. You may or may not, but most people do not. Most people have large bowel movements, and they have a lot of them. I've had people, even brag about their massive amount of weight. I don't think I've ever had anybody that did the colon cleanse that hasn't lost a lot of weight. There's all that fecal matter that's in there. I've had people talk about they've lost 20 pounds, 15 pounds, 10 pounds minimum, taking these colon cleanses. That stuff comes out. But you playing games. You're playing Russian roulette with yourself. I have so many people, that I have so many people that were so concerned. Hold on one second. I have so many people that are so concerned about how this man, the Chadwick Boseman, just died of colon cancer, and it freaked people out. And I said that should not freak you out that somebody came up with colon cancer. If the stuff is sitting in your colon for years, it's going to mutate. It's going to. Tiffany says, should I colon cleanse before correcting blood pressure? I have a colon cleanse for blood pressure on my website, reflectionshealing.com. It's called Gut to Go HBP. So it will start working on repairing your blood pressure issue at the same time as cleaning your colon. When I tell you I have created something for everybody's issue. Do you have a 7-day colon cleansing program? Yes, I do. On the website, it's called Gut to Go Simple. The standard colon cleanse is 14 days. Gut to Go Simple is 7. Okay. reflectionshealing.com. So I want you guys to understand this, because one of the biggest things that I've noticed is that he was very young for all that stuff to accumulate to that degree. Yeah, I agree. He was very young. Well, me and him was the same age, though. He was, 44? That ain't young. First of all, I would stop that. I would call that the age of wisdom. But in 44 years, you can accumulate a lot of waste. You can. I have been in this lifestyle, in all seriousness, since 2015, respectively. And I have colon cleansed multiple times. And every time I colon cleanse, it's a new facet of disgustingness that comes out. Okay? I didn't finish my regimen. I lost track of my last cleanse. I think I was on the 3rd cleanse. So y'all think 38 years. 38 years is a lot of accumulation. It's a lot. And then we don't know if the man had constipation issues before that. That could exacerbate the problem. You know, you can have one rough year of constipation. One rough year. Okay? I don't think you guys are understanding how cancer works. Once that mucoid plaque starts to flip that switch and have the mutation start with the cancer starts eating the mucoid, and it starts to replicate rapidly. The whole purpose and function of the immune system is to stop the replication. But in the colon, the immune system, the functioning of the immune system in the colon is not the same way that it is in our blood. Okay, the colon area is supposed to be a transport system. So any mutations and things of that nature initially, okay, but when we start talking about replication of the cellular walls and things of that nature, it starts to get serious. Okay, that mucoid was in him. I'm telling you, that's what the cancer feeds off of. You know, and he's not uncommon. He was just, a celebrity, of course, that we loved. We adored him. He was an awesome actor. And so his case is not uncommon. This is how most men have either prostate cancer or colon cancer, because the prostate and the colon are there together. It starts out with mucoid in the colon, and sometimes it goes over to the prostate, sometimes it stays in the colon. Anytime you have constipation issues, you have to deal with that, because what happens is the waste is stuck in there, and the longer that waste is stuck in there, the more, and it'd be harder to remove. What I have to do with people, especially a lot of people that come to me really constipated and have been constipated for years, it's almost like I have to chisel the walls, you know what I'm saying, with herbs. And that's not gonna, it typically does not happen within the 14-day colon cleanse. I have to put them on a 2 and 3 month regimen. I first use the laxatives for the first 14 days to get out as much as I can. And then I put them on what I call a digestive balance package, which is on my website as well. And I keep them on there for 2 or 3 months. Typically after about the 2nd month, people are really doing well. But I keep them on there, and there are special herbs that are not laxative based herbs, because remember, you cannot use laxatives longer than 14 days or you will mess yourself up. This is another problem that I find people coming to me with. Okay? People come to me all the time, and they have taken everything under the sun as far as laxatives. They did enemas, colonics. They've been taking milk of magnesia. They've been doing salt water drinking. They've been doing all this stuff, and they didn't mess themselves up. Okay? Now, I have to go back in and do repair work to get their colon to function properly again. And then once I get the colon to function properly again, they can start having proper eliminations without the use of any help. Okay? And that way, that's when they start eliminating. But we have to get the muscles in the intestines working the way it's supposed to in order for you to eliminate properly. Okay? So I need you guys to understand that. So the first step is always colon cleansing. If you have any constipation issues, you should be doing the digestive balance as well. And I'm telling you, I don't care who you are, your constipation issues can be reversed. And I'm pretty sure I probably have some people on this stream here that I've worked with that got rid of constipation too. Because I work with people a lot with constipation. Because I find that constipation is one of the first signs of sickness and disease. I have found that as well. Typically, people that come to me sick, they typically have had or they are in a state of constipation. I found that to be quite true. So I need everyone to understand that your body gives you warning signs, and I decided I wasn't going to go into everything. I just wanted to talk about a few things here because we typically as a people procrastinate. So I want you guys to stop playing games and stop procrastinating and really start to get proactive. Right. And start to get proactive. She said she went from having a bowel movement every 3 days till she finally got to 3 times a day. And that's the way it should be. You eat some type of movement sooner. I typically go, I don't care what it is. If I eat or drink something, I'm probably going to be in the bathroom. And it might not be a huge bowel movement. It might be a small one. But my digestive system is so trained that if something comes in, something coming out. So I typically use the bathroom a lot throughout the day. Bowel movements and urination. My elimination system is on what the young people be like, on fleek. My elimination systems are on point. They really are. And that's what I'm trying to get you guys to, so that your body can heal the way it needs to heal. Okay? Healing is far more. The sun is like bright. Wait a minute. Okay, there we go. Healing is far more than simply just eating some fruits and vegetables. It really is a lot involved in your healing. And this is why I tell people to come to me and stop being cheap trying to go on Google trying to figure things out, because I've had so many people that come to me after they tried to do this themselves for a year or two and they've messed themselves up even worse, and then they come to me to fix the problem. And why are we doing that? Just come to me so you can get the help you need and get this out the way. It really, I think, is a pride thing. People really want to believe that they can master and learn certain things that they're just not gifted for. And I respect that, but you got to stay in your lane. I'm just serious. I'm not trying to be rude. You got to stay in your lane. And your health is on the line. You need someone that knows what you're doing, in all seriousness. So, I want you guys, if you haven't started colon cleansing yet, we need to get you popping. If you have digestive issues and you've done colon cleansing, then you need to be going to digestive balancing so we can get you on your next level. Okay? And I really implore anybody that is, at a point where you feel like you're stuck in your health and you want to go to the next level, to definitely reach out to reflectionshealing.com. I am going to be doing some more series on here from time to time. So, it all depends. Like, I'm really thinking already that my next talk is going to be, on, the emotions. I really do. I think, talking about your moral character is very important in your healing. And you cannot heal if you are a wicked, wretched person. And I'm sorry, but that's just the truth. You know, your body knows when you are hateful, spiteful, prideful, honorary, you know, mess maker, messy, gossiper, backbiter. You know, your body knows that type of stuff. And sometimes we open the door for sickness and disease from our nasty actions that we do when we don't think anyone is looking. So we might just talk about that next time, because I have a lot to say about two-faced and backbiting and all that good stuff that is out there. Hating people for no reason. You know, always got your mouth to somebody. You know, so I think we're going to talk about that, because I think it's a lot of people. I think there's a lot of people out there that need some spiritual healing, you know. But all right, my loves, I am going to check out, because I have been on here for an hour. You guys know I'm long-winded, and you guys just goaded me to keep talking when you should have told me I had passed my time. But I will have this video uploaded onto YouTube, so that you guys can review it more. Because I don't keep them on Facebook anymore, just because Facebook sometimes is a little censory. So I'm not really sure, you know, if I say something that might be offensive to Facebook. So I typically record them on here live, download them, put them on YouTube, and, you know, take them down off Facebook after a certain amount of time. Okay. So I just want you guys to know, if you have not already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can get, because I'm telling you, you're not going to want to miss the vlogs. In the vlogs, still doing My Scar Has a Story to Tell, to start a full series of Scar and the story behind it. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss that. It's going to be, I just have not had 5 minutes. Seriously, I love you guys so much, but you've not been playing catch up since I've been really back in the swing of things. And so I'm playing catch up, working out, and doing some other things in the home life. So I want to make sure that I am doing stuff in decency and order and not overworking myself again or any of that stuff. So I am here. This is my nap time. I am here if anyone needs me. You can always inbox me. And I have, I'm going to be updating the website with the new phone number. I finally have a business line. Well, I shouldn't say finally, because I've been had the business line, but I never used it. So I'm going to put the business line's phone number on the website, when I figure out how to do it. And, because I have I have a phone number I'm not going to publicly publish, because I have downtime. Okay. And it's just easier when I have my phone number, my personal phone number, and then have a business number. Okay. I still love y'all. Trust me. I'm not trying to get away from y'all no more, but I just want to make sure that I have enough time to regenerate my mind so I can keep things fresh for you guys. Okay. This is all a part of the regeneration. I'm telling you, I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was talking about, I was saying that, you know, what my aspirations are versus other people's. I was talking about, I can't understand people that are simply happy with never having enough, and, you know, they gotta scrape together money to go get a pop from the store, soda from the store. You know, they never think about leaving the hood, or, you know, things like that. And I said, I'm just different. And I was like, I'm about to put this on a shirt, and for all the you know, people that be with me, following me and stuff, I'm just different. Okay, my aspirations are to live a healthy life, to try to be around rich people, to engage in people that have intellectual conversations, you know, to be a part of helping them change laws, and, you know, do things that make a difference. And I know a lot of you that vibe with me, and we are just different. And we're going to go into 2021. That's divine will and purpose. like how the curtain is in a play, we are unfolding, okay? Because we in the final act where we dominate and we win. I don't think you love us. Oh, whatever. But we are in our final act. The earth has been waiting on the manifestations of the sons of God. We are in our final act. It is our time to our time to excel. It is our time to go above and beyond. I'm not talking about next level. I'm talking about 10 levels. God is the God of multiplication. Put 1,000 a flight and two will put 10,000 a flight. He ain't in adding. He's in multiplication. He's not going to do you on level 5 now and he going to put you on level 6. No, you on level 5 now and he's about to bump you up to level 20. Okay? The heck we're going to level 6. He about to skip you over all of this stuff. And it all has to do with you getting healthy in your physical body, in your emotions, in your mind. Learning how to stop certain things that are that you're naturally inclined to do. We're going to talk about all this when I come back on the next live. I think it is very important that we discuss in detail doing the little things that what the Bible about foxes. Oh, I can't remember right now. Holy Spirit, help me. It is a scripture. When I find that scripture, I'm going to post. It was talking about the little things you do are what is back. Negative in situations instead of being positive is what's holding you back. If you are a person that when somebody tells you something. Okay. Oh, the devil was a liar. He didn't like me talking about that. If you are a person that is negative, every time someone tells you something and you think that that's beneficial, you just giving them all the pros and cons and stuff. What about you take your little negativity and pray and say, Lord, I pray against this, and this happening in this situation in the name of Jesus. And I ask that you give this person wisdom and guidance, direct them to get to their intended purpose in this situation. That's hard, ain't it? Instead of you being a negative Nelly, when somebody tells you, oh, I want to own a sports center, and you ain't gonna never own no sports center, you ain't got no money. Why would you say that to somebody? Stop being so negative. Why don't you say, well, I come into agreement with you that the Lord, who says he will give you wisdom if you ask him for it, I come into agreement with you that the Lord will give you wisdom to get to that goal if it is in his divine will. I'm telling you guys, some of you are so some of you talk about people too much. Okay? Some of you, you're just so prideful. You never want to ask anyone for help. And the list goes on and on. But whatever you're doing that is against God's will is holding you back from skipping levels. I still got to deal with you about letter B, and he trying to push you to letter J. And I had to learn this for myself. And this is why I'm able to come talk to you with wisdom about these types of things. The Lord has really checked me, because I'm one of them people. I try to just go hard when I'm talking to people, and I'm going to tell them what's on my mind, and I'm going to let them know how I feel about this situation and this, and this. And God just told me, shit. And I had to really start thinking about that, because I have no idea what God's will is. And I'm over here running my mouth trying to discourage you or trying to put some condemnation on you and tell you what you should and shouldn't be doing. And thus saith the Lord, this is not correct. No. Thus saith the Lord. Shut up, Stephanie. Pray. Okay? That's why we have the power. It says the effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. Okay, so if you got something negative that you want to say about somebody, catch your tongue and pray. And you can even just tell somebody, I'm going to go into agreement with you for that, if it's God's will. Why is that so hard? Be happy for people. Just because somebody might be doing something that you don't agree with does not mean you got to be nasty. There are a lot of people and a lot of lifestyles that I do not and will never vibe with. If I feel that there's someone that I want to talk to, hey, I want to express my viewpoint, lifestyle, or this particular action, I would like to talk to you about it. If they say no, accept it. Accept the no. Because I really, really get hurt from a situation recently because I was so adamant that I was going to do or force my will in this situation and ended up getting my feelings totally hurt because it wasn't my situation. It was someone else's. Okay? And I'm trying to step in being somebody's savior when all I'm supposed to do is lead you to the Savior. Whether or not you go there, that's your business. And I was sitting in the bathroom, I'm telling you this, yesterday, and I was in my feelings about this situation. I'm trying to help XYZ, and I person acting so nasty about this and why they family doing this and why. And God said, he quoted the scripture. He said, I told when they go in cities to deliver that word, received dust, shake the dust off of your foot and keep moving. Why in the world are you worried about what somebody is doing with the information you gave? I sent you in their life to deliver this message. You delivered it. Keep it moving. You have other people to tend to. And I was like, oh, I really was. I was like, I said, oh, you're right. What am I worried about? God will deal with that. I'm on to the next one. And that's some of y'all problem. We ain't nobody's saviors. We are message deliverers. We're mailmen. Let's deliver whatever mail we need and keep it moving. But please stop trying to be in the role of savior, trying to be negative, trying to tear someone down, trying to deliver the truth. You want to beat the truth over people's heads. Please stop being that person. Please. True story. And I'm being for real right now. True story. Transparency moment. My grandson is what, 7? I think about 7. 7 or 8. When my son first started dating this woman, I didn't care for her. I just was like, oh, I don't like her vibe. I just didn't care for her. And so I had so much to say to my son about this woman. And I mean, I used to go hard. I even took time to meet her and tell her how I felt about her to her face. I said I was going to get with her. I was going to get with her and tell her how I feel. My son and I fell out. Stopped speaking. On and off for years. She ended up getting pregnant. And I'm sitting here looking stupid because this is going to be my first time being a grandma. And I ain't speaking to neither one, my son or her. And I'm like, I can't be in my grandchild life. You know, it just made me really, it really made me realize that I was such a nasty person for that. If it was God's will for them two to be together, it was going to happen, whether I wanted it to or not. I am not the author and finisher of my son's faith. Okay? And I had to get that revelation. And it was not an easy revelation. It wasn't. It was so not easy for me to humble myself and go to this young lady and apologize. Woo! You talk about a moment of my skin peeling off my body. And it's been years now. It's been years, and me and her sometimes are closer than me and my son. I love her to death now. And I just look back at that, and I'm like, I was about to miss out in my life, because she has 2 of my grandkids now. Her and my son are no longer together, because had I just shut up and let it run, going to realize each other, and they would have moved on like they did. But me pushing so hard just kept them together longer. And it's crazy when I look, and I finally stopped doing all that messy stuff, stepped back and started praying. They realized on their own that they weren't for each other. And that's a true story. And both of them are on my Facebook, so one of them probably watching this, but that's a true story. Everything that come in your head ain't meant to come out your mouth. And that's for real. And by the way, I love my grandbabies. Ooh, I love when I'm with them. I be posting pictures every now and again. I don't get to see them a lot because I'm so busy these days. But them right there, they already know. I don't care what they want. Grandma gonna get it. They're my babies. But I'm just trying to give y'all some advice here. I don't even know why I deviated over to that. But I'm serious. Guys, the backbiting and the two-facedness has to stop. It has to. And it is a serious problem, especially with us church women. If you feel inclined to say something negative about somebody, then you need to start praying for them. Because clearly you see that there's a problem there. So pray. But what you are doing when you are speaking, because you're speaking a curse out of your mouth over that person. And you cursing your brothers or sisters is going to come back on you, because you will reap what you sow. And a lot of you guys, your sickness and disease partially is from you just reaping what you sow out of your mouth constantly. That was for somebody. So whoever was for, just take it and keep it moving. I love y'all. I really do. But I've learned so much in this life, and I want to share what I've learned, because we make our journeys so much more difficult than they have to be. Eating wise, spiritually wise, emotionally, we make it harder than it needs to be. It does hit different when you're a grandparent. Yes. But I just really am serious. People make this thing with God way more difficult than it needs to be. And I'm not getting into that today, but God is always talking to us. He loves us. People want to make it all mystical and weird. Everybody can have a beautiful, flowing relationship with the Most High God without any bull. He is faithful. But I'm going to get off of here. Like I told you guys, I'm probably going to leave this up for maybe a day, and then I'll put it on the YouTube. I love you guys. I pray for your prosperity and for you jumping levels in the name of Jesus. I believe that before this year is over, you will be a completely different person than you have ever been in your life. It is your time for restoration. It is your time to lose everything that has bound you and not allowed you to soar to your levels. I declare it by the blood of the Lamb. I am so happy for each and every one of you in my life. I am grateful. And I look forward to the next time we get to see each other. Have a blessed and prosperous day.